This college student just challenged Charlie Kirk on abortion rights, claiming Christianity supports her pro-choice stance. And what happened next may leave you speechless.
The reason why I believe the right to an abortion, why just anyone, if you feel that's what you need to do, then you should do it. Because Matthew 7:1 says, do not judge or you too will be judged.
Charlie immediately exposed the fundamental flaw in her argument with one simple question that she couldn't answer.
But why is it that all of a sudden you get considered a human being after birth, but before birth you're not?
But here's the real question. How did Kirk manage to dismantle decades of pro-choice talking points in just minutes? That's exactly what we're getting into right now. So if you're tired of watered-down responses to tough moral questions, you're in the right place. Subscribe and join the Faith Frontline. Let's break this down.
The reason I actually wrote this down on a notebook, of course, I was prepared. So the reason why I believe the right to an abortion, why just anyone, if you feel that's what you need to do, then you should do it. Because Matthew 7:1 says, do not judge or you too will be judged. Although Jesus does tell us to tell people, do not sin, it's not our place to judge them, you know? And then another thing that I wanted to bring up, this is crazy, but also the time, I just really want to know why you feel that abortion should be illegal.
Why does somebody's location determine their moral worth?
It doesn't, but it's simply about the fact that if you feel like that's what you need to do with your body, then that's what you do. Because I could also
hold on a second. If it's not your DNA, how is it your body?
It is your DNA.
No, it's not.
It's a part of you. It's growing in you. It's connected to you by an
Hold on.
umbilical cord. It is a part of you.
1 second. It's attached.
A part.
It's attached. Hold on a second. It's attached, not a part.
Same thing.
No, it's actually not. A part, by definition, means it remains permanent.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Oh, okay.
So an attachment is something that is temporary. And so it's not, you are not your mom's DNA. You're not your dad's DNA. You are new deoxyribonucleic acid. So shouldn't we say that if it's not your DNA, it's not your choice?
Here's what makes this moment so powerful. Kirk just exposed the biggest lie in modern feminism. Think about it. If bodily autonomy was really the issue, then why do we have laws against drug use, prostitution, or even seatbelt requirements? You know, society regularly restricts what people can do with their bodies when it affects others or public safety. But somehow, when it comes to ending a human life, suddenly absolute bodily autonomy becomes sacred. I really love how Kirk's DNA argument cuts straight through the emotional manipulation, because a fetus isn't a tumor or an appendix, but a genetically distinct human being. Every cell in the child's body carries different genetic information than the mother. If we discovered this same genetic complexity on Mars, scientists would declare it as life without hesitation. As Jeremiah 1:5 reminds us, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. But what happens when Kirk corners her on the numbers?
Use an ABC logical equation, right? So tell me under what standard, therefore, very simple, right? You're in college, you guys do this all the time, right? I hope so. So use an ABC, right? Aristotelian logic, whatever you want to use. Use an ABC sequence for me.
My reasoning why I believe that abortion should be legal is because of instances like rape and incest, but I already know that your belief on that because you've already stated that if your daughter were to be raped at 10 years old, you would make her give birth to the baby.
Well, the baby would be delivered, and let me tell you why. And so, but first of all, let me try to find common ground.
Okay.
If I say we will make rape and incest abortions legal and get rid of all the other abortions, would you agree with that?
Can you repeat that? I'm so sorry.
If I say that we will allow abortions to continue for rape and incest life of the mother, but all other abortions should be illegal, which is 99.4% of the time, can we make those 99% of abortions illegal?
Yeah, see, I don't believe that abortion should be used as a form of birth control.
So 99% of the time it is. That's all that we're debating in the country right now. So Charlie Kirk's position is a very fringe minority. People are talking about still exceptions, so we should get rid of 99% of abortions.
Yes, but at the same time...
So you're actually not that pro-choice, actually.
Wow, I love how Kirk didn't argue the hard cases, but got her to concede the easy ones first. Most pro-choice advocates hide behind rape and incest because they know those scenarios generate emotional sympathy. But Kirk forced her to confront the uncomfortable reality. If you really believe abortion is healthcare, why would rape change anything? And if you truly think it's not a human life, the circumstances of of conception shouldn't matter. But getting her to agree on the 99%, Kirk exposed the moral inconsistency. And this reveals how the abortion industry manipulates public opinion, because they use the 1% to justify the 99. It's like defending bank robbery by pointing to people who steal bread to feed their families. The exception doesn't validate the norm. Proverbs 31:8 calls us to speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves. And 1.5 million babies annually need advocates more than anyone.
I have 2 ultrasounds. One ultrasound is a baby that was conceived in rape. The other ultrasound is a baby conceived in a loving relationship. Which one is which?
There's no like that.
There's
like
no
I
difference.
said
You're
multiple
right.
times, there's no difference in the physical appearance of it, but the complete difference is the mental toll that it would take on the mother and the person who has to carry the baby for 9 months.
Hold on. Let's be clear. There's a mental toll when you have an abortion too. So it's not as if it's a get out of jail card.
No, I completely understand that.
So it's a tough, difficult, horrible situation. Yeah. But shouldn't we be that the worst outcome after an evil is to just murder the being? Yeah.
No.
Why punish the baby for the crime of some guy that raped the mother? Why all of a sudden have 2 victims unnecessarily?
Well, okay, let's say the mother who is raped births the baby. What if she hates the baby? Like, what if she just cannot care for the baby? Like, what if the baby comes out and she hates the baby because she got raped?
Well, there are 2 million families right now waiting to adopt children.
Okay.
So put it up for adoption. There are 2 million loving families that can't find kids.
I just find that very interesting because the adoption process is actually very difficult in America.
It is difficult. We can make it easier, but again, the issue is that there is a demand of families that want the babies.
Well, I guess that's the hard truth the abortion industry doesn't want you to know. There's no such thing as an unwanted baby in America. 0. The waiting lists for healthy infants stretch for years, with families paying tens of thousands of dollars and waiting endlessly for the opportunity to love a child. Yet, we're told these pregnancies must end because there's nowhere for them to go. It's a complete fabrication designed to ease guilty consciences. You know, carrying a baby to term requires sacrifice, and our culture has taught women that sacrifice for others is oppression. But adoption transforms what seems like tragedy into someone else's greatest blessing. Every child aborted was someone's dream come true that never happened. The system may be broken, but broken systems can be fixed. Although sadly dead children, they can't be resurrected. Isaiah 1:17 commands us to learn to do good, seek justice, correct oppression, bring justice to the fatherless, and to plead the widow's cause. And that defense begins with letting them live long enough to become orphans who find families.
Okay, and my last question that you had started to answer, but you didn't answer what you said you were going to, was why, if your daughter were to be impregnated by rape, why would you force her to have the baby?
I want to understand, though, maybe you can help me understand, why the women of America are so enthusiastic about the right to be able to kill preborn babies. Help me understand.
I think it's more of just the ability to be able to do what you feel is necessary
Bingo.
for your body.
I think that's right. It's narcissism. I think you're totally right. It is weaponized medical narcissism. I'm in charge of the world.
No, I'm in charge of my body. Not in charge of the world, but of my body.
Makes sense. So even though it's not your body and it's a different body in you, I'm the most important thing in the world. And that makes sense because you just connected the dots. We have the most narcissistic female generation in history, and abortion is the culmination in that. Thank you for connecting the dots. Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, it's really sad to see that we've been made to choose personal comfort over human life and individual autonomy as our highest moral value. But Christianity teaches us a love that's above self-interest, because pregnancy, even an unplanned one, is an opportunity for sacrificial love that our culture has referred to as victimhood. There is a holy anger I feel whenever I hear them say, "I'm in charge of my body." As much as that may sound right, biblical wisdom knows that our bodies aren't our own. They're temples of the Holy Spirit designed for service, not selfishness. The teachings of the scriptures ought to be our standard and not our emotions, even when the topic is difficult. And that's exactly what we're here about at Faith Frontline. So hit that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe for more truth that our culture desperately needs to hear.